The origin of Bloody Mary is shrouded in mystery, with tales dating back centuries. One prevailing story suggests she was a noblewoman during the reign of Queen Mary I of England, known for her brutal persecution of Protestants. This noblewoman, often referred to as Mary Worth or Mary Tudor, was accused of witchcraft and dark practices. Legend has it that she was ultimately caught, tortured, and executed. Before her death, she vowed revenge on those who had condemned her. Her restless spirit, tainted by anger and a thirst for vengeance, became the vengeful entity known as Bloody Mary. Over time, the mere mention of her name became taboo, as it was believed that summoning her spirit in a mirror would unleash her wrath. The Curse of Ravenswood, the Legend of Bloody Mary. In the small, secluded village of Ravenswood, nestled deep within the dark and mysterious woods, there lived a legend that sent shivers down the spines of both young and old. The legend spoke of a vengeful spirit known as Bloody Mary, a name whispered only in hushed tones, its mere mention sending shivers down the spine of anyone who dared to speak it aloud. This tale, passed down through generations, had its roots in a dark and tragic history. Many years ago, in the heart of the 16th century, Ravenswood was a peaceful and thriving community. Its inhabitants were simple folk, living off the bounties of the land and the riches of the dense forest that surrounded their village. The village was ruled by Lord Cedric, a kind and just man who was loved by his subjects. However, peace was not destined to last. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the moon cast an eerie glow upon Ravenswood, a stranger arrived at the village gates. The stranger was a beguiling woman with raven black hair that cascaded like a waterfall down her back and eyes as dark as the night itself. Her name was Mary, and she bore an air of mystery that drew the villagers' curiosity like moths to a flame. "Good evening, kind villagers," Mary said, her voice like silk and honey as she approached the village gates. "I am but a weary traveler in search of shelter for the night. Would you be so kind as to grant me refuge?" Lord Cedric, ever the benevolent ruler, stepped forward and welcomed her into his castle with open arms. "You are most welcome in Ravenswood, fair traveler. My name is Lord Cedric, and these are my loyal subjects. We shall provide you with food and shelter for the night." Mary's beauty was enchanting, and she soon became the center of attention in the village. Her presence cast a spell over the hearts of the villagers, especially the men, who were captivated by her beauty and charm. As days turned into weeks, Mary's true nature began to reveal itself. She had an insatiable thirst for power and an unsettling fascination with the occult. She often disappeared into the forest, emerging with strange herbs and potions, muttering incantations under her breath. The villagers began to grow wary of her, sensing that she held secrets that were best left undiscovered. One particularly dark and stormy night, the village was plunged into chaos. A terrible plague had swept through Ravenswood, leaving death and despair in its wake. The once thriving community was now filled with the moans of the sick and the cries of the grieving. Lord Cedric, desperate to save his people, turned to Mary for help. With a heavy heart, he approached Mary in the dimly lit chamber of his castle. Rain hammered against the windows, and the flickering candlelight cast eerie shadows on the walls. "Mary," he began, his voice trembling with fear and desperation, "I have heard tales of your powers. Our village is suffering, and our people are dying. Can you truly help us?" Mary turned to him, her eyes like bottomless pools of darkness. "I can, Lord Cedric," she replied, her voice soft and seductive. "But the price for my aid is steep. I require a blood sacrifice, the heart of a pure and innocent maiden, to perform the ritual that will save your village." Lord Cedric's heart sank, and he clenched his fists. He knew the horror that such a demand entailed, but he could not bear to see his people suffer any longer. "Very well," he whispered, his voice barely audible. "If it means saving my people, I will do whatever it takes. Perform the ritual." Mary's lips curled into a sly smile as she nodded. "As you wish, Lord Cedric. Tomorrow night, when the moon is at its darkest, we shall gather the villagers for the ritual. The sacrifice will be made, and your village will be saved." On the night of the ritual, the villagers gathered around a roaring bonfire, their faces pale with fear. In the center of the circle stood Mary, dressed in a blood-red gown that billowed in the wind. She held a gleaming dagger in her hand, its blade glistening with a malevolent light. Lord Cedric's daughter, a young and innocent girl named Eliza, was chosen as the sacrifice. As Mary raised the dagger high above her head, a bolt of lightning split the sky, illuminating the horror that was unfolding before their eyes. But before she could strike the fatal blow, a bolt of lightning struck the ground, and the earth shook beneath their feet. Mary's spell had gone awry, and the forces she had invoked turned against her. A dark mist enveloped Mary, and she let out a blood-curdling scream as her body contorted and twisted. Her beauty withered, and her skin turned pallid and mottled. She became a wretched and vengeful spirit, her soul forever bound to Ravenswood. Mary's curse did not end with her transformation. From that day forward, she could only appear when summoned by those who dared to speak her name 3 times in front of a mirror in the dead of night. If she was called, she would emerge, her disfigured visage a terrifying sight to behold. The village of Ravenswood fell into despair, as Bloody Mary's curse spread like wildfire. Those who dared to summon her were met with unspeakable horrors, their lives forever haunted by the vengeful spirit. Over time, the village withered away, its once thriving streets now abandoned and overgrown with thorny vines. Generations passed, and the legend of Bloody Mary lived on, a cautionary tale whispered from one trembling voice to another. The village of Ravenswood became a ghost town, and those who ventured into the dark woods surrounding it spoke of eerie whispers and ghostly apparitions. To this day, the legend of Bloody Mary endures, a tale of a beautiful but treacherous traveler whose thirst for power led to her downfall, and the curse that would forever haunt the village of Ravenswood. The mirror, once a symbol of vanity and beauty, became a portal to darkness and terror, a reminder that some legends should never be forgotten, lest they come back to haunt us. And so, the tale of Bloody Mary continues to captivate the imagination of those who hear it, a chilling reminder that beauty can hide the darkest of secrets, and that some curses are never meant to be broken. Whether it's told around a campfire on a moonlit night or whispered in the dim glow of a candlelit room, the legend of Bloody Mary lives on, a timeless tale of horror and caution. Thank you for joining us on this captivating journey through folklore and legends. If you enjoyed this tale and want to hear more spine-tingling stories, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.